Hey everybody, it's Holly
And Heather.
and welcome to a Sunday, May 11th, very special day, everything Elvis. Hello. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday. The weather looks great so far. Here's hoping our broadcast goes a lot better than last week. Sorry that we're a little bit late, but you know us. So grab your coffee though. Grab your coffee.
Cheers.
Grab a snack. Cheers. Not too much to talk about in the Elvis world. We're going to chit-chat about a couple little things. We've got a really cute gift to show you that we got in the mail from a bestie. And then I thought we could really discuss the new Lifetime Judds Documentary, y'all. Because it is Elvis related. Because as we all know, number one, Winona is probably one of the hugest Elvis fans in the world. Number two, Larry Strickland, Naomi's husband of multiple decades. He is also in the documentary. And I will say this, because I watched part 1 and 2. It's a 4-part episode. They did parts 1 and 2 last night. They're going to do 3 and 4 tonight. I hope I don't spoil too much. I'm going to try to keep it vague for those that maybe didn't watch it, because Heather didn't get a chance to watch it. I did. But there were a couple of shout outs about Elvis, so I'll talk about that too, because they did bring him up, probably in the first 20 minutes. So, it's Elvis related. But anyway, I'm a huge Judds fan. I know a lot of y'all are, because I made a post about it last night, and everybody was commenting on it. So I know a lot of you guys are watching it. So stay tuned. It's very interesting. Yeah. How are you doing today, Ed?
I'm good. Yes. Hello, everybody. It's great to have you with us. I know a lot of you aren't on here right now because you messaged. You're so sweet. You even messaged to let us know and apologize that you're not going to be able to join us live, which I think is so sweet. But you can always watch the replay. But yes, happy Mother's Day to all of you fantastic mothers out there. I hope that every single one of you are feeling the love and having a great day, and get a chance to just celebrate you. Yeah. So hopefully you're doing like a really fun brunch. That's what I would want to do.
Brunch. Yeah.
Hopefully you're doing a fun brunch, or lunch, or maybe a dinner or something, and being spoiled by your children and your loved ones. So.
Yeah, and also happy Mother's Day to those pet moms, to the aunts, the sister-in-laws, daughter-in-laws, everybody out there, the pseudo second moms, or those wonderful people in your life that act like your mom, or that you're blessed to have. So yes, it is a holiday, so it's a holiday edition of everything Elvis. But yeah, like we say, thank you so much to everybody joining us. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, so you can comment, because this one she'll go back and read them, and there's going to be some good ones. So not a whole lot going on in the Elvis world this week. Heather only has a couple of items to chit chat about, but there's several of you on here. There's way more than I thought. So I was like, maybe we should say hello to some people, do some comments, and then Heather's got a couple of little mini Elvis things to talk about.
Yes. And Deborah, thank you for the stars.
Already.
Thank you. Much appreciated. She's watching from Portland, Maine.
Whoa.
Yeah. Jane, hello from Pennsylvania. She loves the Judds. Deborah, thanks. She says, hello, my favorite sisters. Hey, Tammy. Always great to see you on here. Hello, Carrie. Let's see. Hello, Boris from France. Paris, France.
Whoa.
Sarah, hello. Happy Sunday to you as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Norma, hello. Happy Sunday. Barbara, welcome in. Joyce, a lot of people are saying they watched the documentary, so hey.
I knew our Elvis people are also Judds people.
Yes.
I knew it.
Well, of course.
But really, who's not a Judds
Hello,
person?
Angelique. Cindy, hello. Let's see. Barbara. Yeah, the weather is good here. Thank goodness. Everybody's saying the weather's good where they are and that it's warm. Yeah, we've had so much rain. And yeah, I apologize about the broadcast last week. I was like, wow, our connection was really bad. And it stayed the entire time. A lot of times, it'll eventually clear up. But it was really sketchy and grainy the entire time. But,
yeah, and I apologize because we had those beautiful necklaces to show. But
you're going to see them again.
You're going to see them again. Oh, and I did have a little quick announcement about that. You know, I told y'all last week that Kelsey said, or that I was saying that when I Googled her, it came up a different jewelry company. Well, she was sweet and messaged me to let me know she is working on a brand new website for the jewelry company. So not only now will you be able to find her on Etsy, but you'll be able to Google her. I think she's going to call it Rising Sun Jewelry Co. .com. So Rising Sun Jewelry Co.com. And so she's putting together a website. So that is awesome news on her end.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. So glad she told us that. It'll be so easy for you guys to find her. So
Barbara says it's 97 in Vegas today.
well, I'm gonna tell you what, I feel like it's 97 in
Goodness.
here. I might have to turn the fan on. I'm hot and I don't get hot.
Thank you.
Are you hot?
I mean, I always am. I always am.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Yes.
So many of you are saying Happy Mother's Day and that you're having a good one.
Awesome.
Well, we all know how important Gladys was to Elvis, so I'm sure they're celebrating together in heaven.
So true. I didn't think about that. That's so true.
Yes. So
I know. So what did you have going on, Heath?
well, just a couple of little interesting things. You know, I'm always scanning the Facebook, and of course, because you know, I swear, like social media knows anytime you look up anything or read something about any particular subject, then it starts just like bombarding your feed and your social media with like everything about that, which I love in the Elvis instance, because then I see all kinds of cool things that I didn't know. But anyway, one cool thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm sure some of you saw it, is this week was the Academy of Country Music Awards. Did you watch them?
No, I didn't even know they were on.
Well, they weren't on like a normal channel, I don't think. Like used to, they broadcast on, you know, like ABC or NBC or whatever.
Big to do.
You know, even like CMT or something. But I think it was on like a weird platform this year.
Okay, well, this makes total sense because I kept seeing like Lainey Wilson and like even Winona and some people with like awards, and I'm like, this is really odd that they're just post like, because it's just her like with some award trophies. I guess Lainey blew them away.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm going to talk about.
Okay, well, I guess she blew them away. So thank you. That now makes perfect sense because that's so weird. And two, I haven't been in Nashville. I've been in Powell, and I have been. My time has been taken up. Which I was very happy of. I had some old friends come into town. So, you know, when old friends come into town, you just like, that you don't see very often, you just devote daylight till dark to them because you don't know when you'll see them again. So I've been out of the loop this week.
Anyway, so ACM Awards were on this week, and I just happened to, because I didn't get to watch them, but I kind of like went back through Facebook and I wanted to, you know, see certain performances, and I wanted to see, you know, who won certain categories and stuff. And there was a very interesting Elvis sighting, Elvis reference on the ACM Awards that I wanted to talk about that I had no idea about. I thought was very cool and very interesting.
You didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a little back history, because I went back and researched it because I was like, I never knew this. This is cool and crazy. So apparently the Academy of Country Music Awards started in 1966. So 1966 is when they first aired. But the Entertainer of the Year category did not start until 1971. So 6 years into the ACMs is when they added the category of Entertainer of the Year. Well, this year, Lainey Wilson won. Congratulations to her.
Yep.
So happy and proud to see a woman win, and somebody that's country.
Yes.
And because she's definitely carrying that country torch. So excited to see her win. But Blake Shelton presented the award. And before he presented it, he was talking about the first year that they gave the award, and he was talking about the nominees that year. Well, guess who was a nominee for Entertainer of the Year in 1971? Elvis Presley.
No way.
But he didn't win.
I can't believe that.
Guess who, and this is where I'm going to quiz Holly.
Okay.
Guess who, so there were, hold on, let me see. I think there were 5.
If you tell me who it is, I'll know, because I think I already know.
Well, hold on. There were, I think, let me find it. Hold on. Doodle-doo-doo-doo. Doodle-doo-doo.
And the nominees are.
I know, where did I? Oh, here we go. Okay, so there was 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 5 nominees. 5 nominees. So Elvis is one. Who do you think were the other 4?
In 71, I think Loretta Lynn.
No.
I think, don't tell me. George Jones.
No.
Merle Haggard.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got Elvis and Merle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Charlie Rich.
Nope.
Is there any women?
No.
See,
That's why I was excited that lady won this year.
I can't believe, because I'm about to still sell some of that.
Mm-hmm.
71 Buck Owens, maybe?
Nope.
Okay, hold on. 71. Do I know these people? Are these
Oh,
people?
yeah.
Okay. Willie Nelson.
No.
Waylon Jennings.
Nope.
Kenny Rogers.
Nope. Okay, I'll give you hints.
Okay.
There's one that is Elvis associated.
T.G. Shepherd. B.J. Thomas.
71.
B.J. Thomas.
He and Elvis go back to the beginning, to Sun Studios.
Carl Perkins. Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash. Of course. Why didn't I say Johnny Cash first?
Then Elvis recorded some of his songs, and he used to do a lot of the demos that Elvis then listened to and recorded.
Glenn Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then the last one, well, if I give the major clue, it would completely give it away. But
okay, is it somebody I know and love?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gosh, who could it be? Fair and Young?
No.
What state are they from, if you know? Do you know? I'm trying to think.
Maybe.
Are y'all guessing along too?
Yeah, who are y'all guessing? Did you all see this? I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. Charlie Pride.
Oh, your fave. Your favorite.
Charlie Pride. So that year it was Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, Glenn Campbell, Charlie Pride, and Elvis.
Wow.
And guess who took home the prize?
I'm going to say Johnny Cash.
Merle Haggard.
Whoa.
Merle Haggard.
Wow.
Yeah.
He would have been my pick.
Uh-huh.
He would have been my pick, but
And
Johnny Cash is just so.
That year, it secured Merle, it says, as the first Triple Crown winner. He won Most Promising Male Vocalist in 1965 and won both Entertainer of the Year and Male Vocalist at that 1971 show.
Wow.
But hello, I mean, that's way before my time. So I was like, I guess it makes sense that I don't know, but had no idea that Elvis was ever nominated for an Academy Country Music Award, which, number one, I mean, I'm sad that he didn't win, but I kind of like understand it because, you know, I guess Elvis's relationship with like the Opry and country music was always kind of like rocky and everything because, you know, a lot of people didn't consider him country. And
well, and he's not the king of country music, he's the king of rock and roll.
Yes, and yada, 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 you know, but I thought the fact that he was nominated still says something about his power and stuff on, you know, the music and the industry and every genre that there is. So cool. And I thought that was cool that they mentioned it and that Blake Shelton talked about it on the ACM Awards this year.
Well, and here's what's weird too. I'm pretty sure Loretta Lynn, whom I've got on my t-shirt today in honor of Kentucky and Loretta and the Judds, I think she was the first female to win.
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure she's the first female to win it.
I believe so. So were y'all guessing along? Did you guess who the people were? Did you see? Did you all know? Did some of you watch that?
Was that the one and only time he was ever nominated?
I couldn't find that, but I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Only because...
And that's so cool that it was like 1971. Because, yeah, maybe I'll go back and do even more research because I just saw it this week because the awards actually were just on the 8th. But maybe I'll go back and do a little bit more research. I just kind of researched like when did they, you know, the awards actually start, because I kind of wanted to know that history, and then, you know, when did that award start, and the fact that that was the first year for it and that Elvis was nominated is very cool. But yeah, that's just interesting that it was like 1971 because, you know, that was when Elvis was at the peak, you know, of his like, you know, career and everything and his recordings and stuff. So I don't know. I just thought that was so cool.
But was that when he did his country album? Because, you know, he's got all those tons of country songs. Was that like when he was into that? Or I feel like that came later. Like, I feel like 71 in my eyes is a little too early for like Gentle on My Mind and, you know, Green Grass of Home and all that he was doing.
Probably not. That probably was about in that time.
Okay.
Let's see. This says in 1971, Elvis released 3 studio albums. Elvis Country.
Got it. Knew it.
I'm 10,000 years old. Was in parentheses. Love Letters from Elvis, and Elvis Sings the Wonderful World of Christmas. Okay. He also released a compilation album titled You'll Never Walk Alone. Let's see. It says that the Elvis Country was released in January, so right at the beginning, and featured a blend of country and pop music. Yeah, let's see what all was on there because, yeah, I know that album. I'm just like, what all are they?
It had some good ones.
So it had, so no wonder he got, like, nominated. So it had Snowbird.
Oh,
love that. Tomorrow Never Comes. Little Cabin on the Hill. Whole lot of shaking going on.
Thank you, whole lot of shaking going on the country
that
album.
was his semi-country cut. It's his fresh new country cut. Let's see. Really Don't Want to Know. There Goes My Everything. So he was, recording some big hitters.
Yeah. Well, that is neat.
Let's see. Let me find this. Let me see what else there was. Yeah. Funny How Time Slips Away. It's Your Baby, You Rock It. The Full. I love that one. Faded Love. I Wash My Hands in Muddy Water. Every time I think of that song, I think of Cody Danaff.
I
know. Make the World Go Away. So yeah, he recorded, some really like big country songs on that particular album. So
yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was really cool.
That's neat. Okay, so Lisa's saying it's on a streaming platform. So
it was on something.
On like probably Netflix or.
Yeah, it was not on like TV, like regular stations. You had to have like a streaming thing. I know.
That is a shame.
I know.
I mean, that's big.
But go back and if you can, even just go to like Facebook or YouTube and probably just Google like, this year's ACMs, because I bet a lot of people have posted performances and stuff. Because I saw a really cool performance that I thought was great. It was a song called Trailblazers. And it was Reba McEntire, Lainey Wilson, and Miranda Lambert. And it was a trio that they did and kind of talking about Dolly and Loretta and the trailblazers of female country music and how they paved the road and the trail for them now to do what they do. And it was just a really great trio and they all did a fantastic job and they looked great. They were all dressed very similar, but in their own styles, very like country western. Like Lainey had on like, of course, her like bell-bottom pants. And it was like all brown with like turquoise accents. And Reba had on like her signature like jeans with a cool shirt and like jacket with some fringe. And then Miranda had on like a little dress with boots. Cool. So it was a really cool performance and stuff. But yeah, I was so excited to see Elvis mentioned on the ACM Awards.
And I'm excited women are killing it. So in country music. So that's awesome. Well, that's really neat. That is really neat.
So I thought I would share that with you all because I wasn't so sure. Like I said, I wasn't aware of it. And I was like, I don't think Holly is. And I was like, I wonder if a lot of our Elvis besties out there were aware of this fun fact.
If I know you guys, Elvis. I'm going to say the majority did because I mean it. Y'all know your stuff.
Stephanie says it was on Prime Video.
Okay.
So, there you go. Penny says she watched it on YouTube.
Okay.
So yeah, you can definitely find it. I mean, I honestly will say that I don't watch a lot of the award shows anymore. I used to watch them all the time, like when I was younger and like back in the day, because, they were just so good and I love the performances. I'm not so much into the new country and the bro country and all of that. And so I really don't watch the awards because I don't enjoy most of the performances and I get bored. So I'd rather just see highlights or the people I really want to see. So,
and I wonder if that's an age thing because I was laughing at myself the other day.
No,
y'all know
it's not that much talent
well,
thing.
But how it's nostalgic, like when you're little and then you grow up with the people. Because I was going through the VHS tapes, y'all, the other day at Mom and Daddy's, and because I'm like trying to convert them over to DVD. And we've talked about this. They were not great at organization. So I have to go through every single tape. And literally, I like start at the beginning and I'll just hit fast forward and I'll just kind of quickly look because they literally could have an episode of Dallas and then a family reunion and then an episode of something and then someone's birthday party. So I have to really pay attention. And we, I guess Mama, for some reason, or Daddy, had taped like the 90 or 91, I want to say it was ACMs or CMA Awards. I stopped the VHS and started watching it because it was like Randy Travis was brand new. He won like the new rising star. Yeah, new artist.
Emerging artist.
I mean, it was just star after star, or like, should I say legend after legend after legend after legend. Like, it was unbelievable. It was so good. And then I watched an American Music Awards because Neil Diamond was getting honored. This was like in the early 90s. But yeah, I was like, man, those award shows were so awesome back then. But I'm like, was it just because I was young? Because now I'm like, I don't know that person. What's that person doing? What's that person wearing? So who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, it seemed to be like a lot of great moments and stuff because I want to go back and watch. I know that they honored Alan Jackson. Yes. Everybody said that was really sweet and really touching. So, and I love Alan Jackson.
I
love Alan Jackson.
And you know, he's having some health problems.
Yeah,
right
well,
now,
that's the
so.
thing. Yeah, I think they gave him like, I don't remember exactly what the award they gave him. Like, you know how they do like the like Legend Award or the like whatever it is. I think it was kind of something like that. Because yeah, he's getting ready, I think, to kind of retire.
Oh yeah.
And hang it up. So
well, I'm just glad they did it while he was still alive.
Yeah.
You know, they always wait and do these things after they're gone. So good on them for doing it while he's still here with us.
So let's see what some people are saying.
Yes.
About the award show. Oh wow, Tammy says that she thinks this was the best one she's seen in a long time.
Wow.
Well, I'll have to go check it out.
All right.
That's amazing, Jane. She says she has all of the Dallas shows.
Wow. That is something. I have like a few seasons. I bought the DVDs. I need to just buy the whole thing.
Oh, Wendy, that's awesome. She says she blames, yet credits us. We'll take both. For the fact that she ordered earrings from Kelsey after we showed her our necklaces. She's just waiting to receive them. Laugh out loud. Ooh, send a picture.
Yeah, send us a picture.
Send us a picture whenever you get them. That's amazing.
Yeah, if y'all order anything, tell Kelsey Holly and Heather sent you.
Yes.
That is wonderful. I'm sure she's stoked about that.
Yes. Let's see.
Everybody's talking about
I know,
it.
Deborah, there were some awesome Elvis songs on that country album. Oh, that's cool. Tammy says Farron Young is her third cousin. Wow.
Whoa. Well, we are big Farron Young fans.
Yeah.
Loved him.
That's hilarious.
Loved him.
Yeah. I have a friend who was a friend of his and knew him and said he was a pistol.
You could tell it.
Yeah.
You could tell it.
Yes. Oh, that's funny, Gabrielle. I bet you especially think that of Holly. She says, "Hi, lovely sisters. I love listening to your accents and your love for Elvis. I'm watching from England."
Well, but I bet you to her, you have an accent too. Mine is probably, she may not be able to understand me with mine, but I'm sure you have a little bit, a little touch of an accent.
Yes.
That's so hilarious.
Oh, hello, David. I know there is a lot going on in the UK. He says Dean Z, Sean Clush, and Ben Thompson are there touring, doing their ETA World tour.
What a tour.
I know. He's got his David's going to see Ginger Alden. She's going to be in the UK coming up in June.
Awesome.
And Priscilla Presley in September and October. She's coming to the UK. His
calendar's packed.
I know. Wow. I know. I'm so jealous that Dean and Ben and Tom, Dean and Ben and Sean are doing their tour. What a great trio. What a bring the house down show that is.
Yeah.
Because Ben does the 50s, Dean does black leather, and of course Sean does jumpsuit 70s Elvis. So holy cow.
Can you imagine being somebody that has no idea who these people are, like someone
and has never seen them,
and just like drags them to the show, and they're probably just like, I would just love to be sitting by somebody that had never heard of them or been to a show like that, and I would just love to sit there and watch the reaction.
What a great show. And this week has been David Lee's Clam Bake, gonna have a clam bake festival.
You're so silly. One on our bucket list.
I know.
We're dying to go. We just can't make it happen.
I think he does that every year in May, and it might always be the weekend of Mother's Day. For some reason, I feel like it was also Mother's Day weekend last year. But holy cow, also looks like it has been so fun and entertaining.
Yes.
If you can go back and watch, I don't even remember who it was I saw, because Holly on the Facebook is friends with so many, Elvis besties out there. And a lot of you that go to the festivals and things will, post little clips of performances and videos and stuff. But oh my gosh, that festival looks like it's been hilarious because Cody Dayanath is there, Riley Jenkins, Bill Cherry, and I know Bruno Nesci was there, and one more, Austin Irby, I think, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, they've been doing hilarious stuff.
Really?
Because there was one day this week they did a tribute to David Lee, and they all had to come out and they did of course, Promised Land.
Yes.
Because, you know, that's like one of David's,
That's
I
a
feel like that fever.
Yes, that's
Or
his
David
signatures.
Lee's, you know, signatures. I mean, every time I hear, love my home and Norfolk, I'm like, David Lee, where is he? But they all like were on stage together and they all had to like take a verse of it and like imitate him. It was stinking hilarious.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
It was hilarious. I'll tell you who was like shocked to me was Riley.
Was he on it?
And Cody. Yes.
Were they like dead on?
Oh my God, they were doing that like move that he did.
That's his signature move.
It was like, I was dying. I was like, this is the funniest like idea. And I'm like, who came up with it?
I know.
Like, I'm like, was it David's wife? Or I mean, it might have been David. I was like, was it David's wife? Who was it? But it was so funny.
Quit talking about it. Now you're making me sad I'm not there.
I know.
2026, maybe. Clam bake.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch the movie first. I've not seen it.
Yeah.
But that song's real cute.
Let's see.
What are you talking about? Yeah, I think, yeah, I want to say that's it. Speaking of Wendy, though, I do have to give her a little shout out.
Yeah.
Y'all, we got some more Elvis Bestie mail. That's what I think I'm going to call it. Elvis Bestie mail.
Mm-hmm.
Happy mail in the mailbox. And I'm telling you what, I think I'm going to start collecting different like merch memorabilia from all the ETAs. She, you know, thank
Here's
you.
our start. My start was our Dean scarf, and now we have this.
Our start was our Riley bracelet.
Oh,
Riley
we do
Jenkins
have a
gave
Riley
us
bracelet.
like the I Love the Tennessee Dynamite bracelet, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Heather's got a Dean scarf, and now look at this cute magnet. It's so beautiful of Gordon Hendricks. And you know how much we love him. I hope you guys can see it.
Gordon.
But I'm so pumped. She gave us two. I think I'm going to put one on our refrigerator here in Nashville, and I'm going to put the other in Dad's new house in Powell, so we'll always have Gordon with us.
What a cool magnet, though.
I know,
Gordon
it's
looks fantastic.
beautiful.
Speaking of the UK and shows, if you ever get a chance to go see Gordon Hendricks, they call him the Voice.
Yeah,
and
the King's voice.
Yeah, the King's Voice. If you go to one of his shows, you will understand why.
Close your eyes and just
Literally one of the closest, which amazes me because he is British. Like how him and Ben Thompson and them like sing like they do, but their accents go away. It's so weird. But yeah, Gordon, I mean, just his voice.
Yeah.
Killer.
Yeah. So Wendy, thank you so much. We are so
pumped.
Thank you,
Gordon.
To yes, you and Gordon. We love y'all, and we're so pumped to put this on the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited.
I know, Carrie. It is like I predicted it. She says, did we hear that Jimmy Holmes won the Branson Elvis Festival? He did. You remember last week how we were talking about the Branson Elvis Festival going on? And I thought I had already seen that Jimmy won. And apparently they hadn't even had the finals yet. So he did win.
You're psychic.
He did win.
You're psychic.
Yes. So.
Well, I'm guessing you probably saw where he maybe made like a top
Well, no, he
five
was in the top. Yeah, he was in the top 5. And he is really good. So I thought, he probably had a really good chance and stuff. But
you put the positive vibes out there.
Yeah. I just ripped the envelope open a little too soon.
Yeah, we were cracking up because we didn't realize it when we were on air. And then when we got off, Heather was like, oh, because somebody that commented was like, they haven't even done the button. And Heather was like, oopsies.
Mm. Oh, well.
Our bad.
Let's see.
We're not 100% people. Y'all know this.
Oh, my goodness, Susie. Oh, I love your name, Susie Q. She says Gordon is coming to Australia later in the year. It will be great. He is the first ETA I ever saw. Or he floored. That's a good first one to see.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Carrie says she's got a Cody Dayanath magnet and she's got it on her refrigerator.
I didn't know he had it.
She loves seeing Cody before she opens her refrigerator. I love that.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Let's see. Gabrielle says she was lucky to see Ben. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's great.
He is great.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much for commenting and for being on here. I was like, now Heather, it's literally probably going to be us and about 3 people because it's Mother's Day. Yeah. But all of y'all have showed up and showing out. Yeah. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate it.
So you want to talk about the Judds?
Let's talk about it for a little bit. I don't want to do too many spoilers. I might really talk about it.
And this is Elvis, week. Like we said, Elvis related, because we're also everything Elvis and entertainment. and we like to delve into other things that we're interested in and we think you'll be interested in. And I feel like lately we've been doing a lot of like 6 degrees from Elvis.
I'm telling you.
Because honestly, you can start talking about a subject, and if you think hard enough, you can somehow tie it right back to Elvis.
Yeah.
I just tied those ACM awards to Elvis, see? But we can definitely tie this back to Elvis because of Larry Strickland.
I know, and I will tell you what, he is prominent in the documentary, which I was glad to see because, I've watched a lot of Judds documentaries and stuff, and he's,
been a little silent.
Yeah. Well, Larry to me is very stoic. Like, I think he was a great counterbalance because you know how wild and outgoing and extroverted Naomi was, and Larry always just seems very reserved and calming.
Yeah.
And I think she needed that in her life. But I'm gonna tell you what, first and foremost, because I know everybody's gonna ask, it is on Lifetime. It is on the Lifetime Network.
Yes, everybody was asking that.
Lifetime Network. It premiered last night. So they're doing it weird. It's actually 4 parts. So it's 4-hour-long episodes, but they did 2 last night, episode 1 and 2. They'll do 3 and 4 tonight, and it's on Lifetime. And I think someone said they are going to re-air it, the first 2 parts, probably today. I'll bet you anything they're just going to do all 4 and lead up into the 3 and 4 episodes. And I know Lifetime. If you missed it last night, and you missed it tonight, they'll probably re-show it again. You'll probably see it, or they'll put it on some kind of like streaming platform, I'm sure. But I will tell you this, I'm very excited about it because I'm a Judds fan. Heather and I love the Judds since they first came out. I mean, they were awesome. There's not a song they have that I don't love.
Well, I mean, you got to consider literally Winona, one of the greatest female vocalists of all time in not just country music, but I'd put her up against anybody.
But the cool things, I'll go through it. So this is going to be a documentary that really focuses not on their career as much, but as their private lives, and especially the private life of Naomi, because as we all know, they've all suffered with mental illness throughout their lives, especially Naomi. Obviously, none of us knew to the extent, like I knew she had some mental health issues, and she even wrote that book, which now, and I'm telling you what, I'm sure their record sales and their book sales are about to go up because they play snippets of their songs, and it'll be like, oh, at this point, they were doing this, and you just go, and I've even heard some new songs that I think I've probably heard them, but it's just been so, because they weren't like hits for them. But I'm definitely going to have to go back and get a greatest hits. I'm going to have to go get this book. I have the Love Can Build a Bridge book that Naomi wrote first. It's like their life story, kind of like an autobiography of them. But then she wrote, it's called River of Time. And that is all about her battle with severe, untreatable, or treatment-resistant depression. And then she has spoken. She's been a big advocate. She does keynote speech. She traveled the country, speaking on behalf of that. I didn't know it actually has a book. And I want to say it's called All That's Bitter and Sweet. I don't think Winona has one yet. I'm sure she will. But I think it'd be interesting to hear Ashley's. And anyway, before I even watched the documentary, y'all, this is why I was so excited about it. And you can go on YouTube, just type in like Melissa Rivers, Judds Documentary. Melissa Rivers, which is Joan Rivers' daughter, has like a podcast, I guess. And she was interviewing one of the executive producer ladies, I can't remember her name, to give a little bit of insight, because I'd forgotten, but y'all may not know. But Melissa was like, I can relate to these people on so many levels, because she's like, I know what it's like to work with your mom, 24/7, because she and Joan were close and worked for years together. And she's like, I know about suicide because Joan's husband died. Her dad died from suicide. So these are very close to her heart. But anyway, it was a great interview, and it even delves in. I don't know. I'm waiting on part 3 and 4, but they really got into some nitty gritty stuff that I didn't know about all the Judds. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'll let y'all go over to YouTube. It's on YouTube. Just like I say, type in Melissa Rivers, Judds Documentary review or whatever, or interview. It's well worth the watch. It was really good. But the Elvis connection, it opens up with some really neat old movie footage. And I don't know if this came from Naomi, because like they said, Naomi kept everything. And when I say she has every demo tape, cassette,
what is
VHS,
it with the celebrities?
DVD, and they have a ton of home movies that they show, just private home movies, like them at a birthday party or them out on the ranch or whatever. So they always do a lot of this footage, and they've got some awesome footage of Nashville back in the 60s and 70s. And did you know, I didn't know it, but right there where we call them the naked people, there's like this giant statue of naked people that no one knows why it's there. I mean, it's art, I guess, but it's just a bunch of naked people with tambourines. Anyway, that's in downtown Nashville. There used to be an Elvis Presley museum and gift shop there. And when they were panning through, there's this giant sign that just says Elvis Presley Museum and Gift Shop. And I was like, why is that still not here? Yeah. And I wonder
who tore that down.
Who tore it down? What was in it? All that. So that was cool.
Shame.
Then it had Joe Galante, he was the head of RCA, which was their record label. And he made this really interesting statement. He said, the Judds did for country music, turning it around and bringing fresh life into it in the 80s that Elvis did to rock and roll in the 50s.
Wow.
And I was like, that's
big words.
That was a big statement. And I'm sure Winona would appreciate it, but it was a big statement. So they made reference to that. And then they also, of course, brought Larry in, and we're talking about him and stuff. And speaking of that, I did not realize what a hard time they had at the beginning, because Larry actually knew them before they were famous. For some reason, I thought had just become famous when like Larry got into the picture with Naomi, but he didn't. He literally met them. I think he said 2 years after Elvis died, and he said that was a bad time because, when you're young and you're with Elvis, he's like, we never thought he'd die, and he's like, you're young and blowing money, and he's like, so after Elvis died, he said 2 years later I met Naomi, and he's like, and I was destitute. He's like, I didn't have any money because all the money had dried up, because Elvis was gone, and they had all depended on that, I'm sure. Naomi and the girls had no money. I mean, she was living paycheck to paycheck. So I thought that was really interesting. But it's just really neat to hear all about this stuff. And I'll tell you this, Naomi Judd might be one of the most beautiful women that I have ever come across. They keep showing you photos of her from like, a baby on up till now. And she is absolutely stunning. I mean, it kind of reminds me of that tragic tale of Marilyn Monroe, because, you can have all the beauty and all the wealth and success and still not be happy or still have problems.
Well, she had a very traumatic childhood.
Yes.
I think she had some uncles and things that molested.
That she never told.
Yeah, that molested and raped her. So I think she had like a very
horrible,
traumatic childhood that I'm sure she never got over and carried with her those scars and issues for the rest of her life. But yeah, she was absolutely stunning. And actually, my good friend that knows Farron, he also worked with George Jones back in the day and toured with him. And he was telling me one time, when he first met Naomi and Winona, because they came, Naomi brought Winona to a George Jones concert and wanted to meet him and stuff. So somebody brought him backstage, and he got to meet and see Naomi in person. And he was like, honestly, when she walked into the room, she was one of the most stunning, gorgeous women I had ever seen. He was like, she just absolutely looked like a porcelain doll. She was just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'll tell you this. Here's what I'm going to say about Winona. That woman, and Larry said this, they've been uncovering, because evidently it starts out, the documentary starts out on a sad note. It starts out 1 year after Naomi's death when they are selling her house, because Larry said, I can't live here. He's like, I just can't do it. So, and he, I'm sure, wanted to downsize and all that. So they were packing up all of Naomi's stuff, and her last manager that she had, this young guy, he was her manager the last year of her life. He was like a personal manager. So just like a personal assistant almost, where they just handle your day-to-day life. So he is uncovering, he's like, I'm going through file cabinets and trying to pack. And he found this demo tape. It was still sealed. It was like back in the day, you would put like a cassette tape of like a demo of songs, and you'd like seal it up and send it off to the record companies. And this was from, I want to say, either 1982 or 1987. This was when they were like trying to make it. So I got maybe 82. Yeah. Well, it had never been opened since it was put in that mail thing. So Larry and Ashley open it up, and it is this whole cassette tape with written on the back all these songs that Naomi had wrote. Which I also didn't know Naomi was such a prolific songwriter. Like some of the songs they were playing that were maybe not hits, like I kind of knew or didn't know. There's this one. And do you remember a Judds song called Sleepless Nights? I don't think it was ever even released or a hit, but I'm going to tell you what. They played a part of it, and Naomi wrote it about her brother that died. She had a brother that died from cancer when she was little. Or not little, when she was like a teenager. But anyway, it's one of the most beautiful songs. I was like, but anyway, back to Winona. They pull out this tape, and y'all know how crummy back in the day when you had your cassette tape and a little microphone, or maybe not even a microphone, and you're all singing into it. Good. They put that on. Stunning. I mean, Larry was like, I'm not believing this. He's like, Winona, he's like, I've never heard her sing one time off pitch. He said, never. He said, she is on pitch 24/7. And even back then, this crummy thing. And Naomi sounds great. There's even a little song that she sings on her own. And Larry was like, she was always insecure about her voice. And he's like, I thought she had a great voice. He's like, I mean, was she Winona? No, but who is? Yeah. But he was like, she had a real sweet tone. He said she had a lovely tone. She could do harmonies real good. She had like a little timbre to it. And he's like, she just was always so scared to sing on her own. But y'all go back and listen. I'm telling you, you're going to be pleasantly surprised at just all the little gems of knowledge and things they pull out. So fascinating. And like I say, I don't want to give away too much, but I'm going to tell you what, it really sheds a great light on how much they've all struggled through their life. And I can't wait for part 3 and 4, because already they've covered, by the second episode, it's just getting to where they first got their stardom, where they first got their big break. And in Nashville, I don't know if you heard this, but this is what I've always heard in Nashville, is like, it was almost like they were an overnight success, because they always say that, like, Naomi was a nurse, Brett Maher, which was like a big time producer back in the day, she took care of his daughter, who had been in a tragic car accident, and got to know the daughter and the family. And at the very last day, legend goes, she gave a cassette tape, because she found out he was a record producer, gave it to him. His wife made him play it. He wasn't even going to play it, but she was like, you're going to listen to this, because that woman was so lovely and such a great nurse and took such good care of our daughter. He listened to it, called him in. They sang in front of him in person. He said they were awesome and just had something fresh and new. And there was like this mother-daughter dynamic. And he said they put together a demo of about 5 songs, went to RCA. RCA liked what they heard, brought them in. They sung live, and then RCA, whoever was in there, told them, I guess Joe Galante, told them to go to the O'Charlie's that was down the road and wait. And he said that they all go to the O'Charlie's. Winona and Naomi are beside themselves, like nervous wrecks. And the guy called and said, y'all are the newest artists on RCA. But so that's how they always say. And that does kind of sound like a little overnight success. But I'll tell you what, this documentary shines a lot on. Naomi was preparing this for years. I mean, she was working on some way. As soon as she heard Winona sing, because evidently Winona was real rebellious as a child, and they just didn't know what to do with her, and probably just, all doing everything. And she said the only thing that would calm her down or make her sit still or like make us not have to worry about her was music. And she's like, so I bought her a secondhand guitar, kind of like Elvis. And she's like, when she heard her sing, was like, this kid's got it. And from that day on, she was grooming her. And so it took years. She went to California. They went to Kentucky. They finally landed in Nashville. So it wasn't your typical overnight success. Like and what's going to come out in this documentary is evidently Naomi made up their entire past. The only thing, this one lady said, the only thing that was truthful about the narrative Naomi spun was that they were from Kentucky. I was like, whoa. So I can't wait. I think that's going to come out in episode 3 or 4. And evidently no one ever knows this. And so they just said it was real hard on Winona and Ashley, because they knew the truth, but they had to kind of keep it a secret. But all the big wigs, because they have a lot of like Nashville big wigs that are talking, and they said, honestly, Naomi was probably the greatest PR person, because she knew that this narrative and them coming at it like that they're like, evidently, she's, because I've always heard that they were dirt poor, welfare, barely making it, but evidently they said she basically had a middle class life. Like she basically, like, I'm not saying it was great, because evidently her mama was horrible. I mean, Winona called her grandma.
So probably money-wise, it wasn't as dire straits. Like life was dire straits, and there's tragic events in their lives,
Yes.
but maybe money wasn't quite as dire straits or poverty or whatever.
Yeah,
so.
you'll be heartbroken when you watch it. I'm not telling it to y'all. You'll be heartbroken when like Ashley tells you about like the relationship with like Naomi and her mama. Like it was not good.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend this documentary. I can't wait for Heather to watch it so we
Yeah.
can really thoroughly discuss it. I'm kind of glad she didn't because I don't want to give away spoilers and stuff. I want to wait till next week maybe after everybody's had a chance to watch all 4 episodes and check it out. But y'all in the comments, if you've seen it so far, what do you think?
Yeah.
I put in my post. After the first 10 minutes, I was riveted. 15, I was crying. I mean, it's such an eye-opener. It's really, really good. And it just makes you love the Judds again.
Yeah.
I mean it.
It sounds riveting. Everybody in the comments is saying, you know, they either watched it or they're going to watch it. Once again, a lot of you are asking how to watch it. It is on Lifetime. Also, a lot of you posting that it is re-airing. Somebody said it's literally re-airing all day today. Like they're doing the part 1 and 2 all day, and then tonight is the 3 and 4. And then somebody was also saying that there's a Dolly documentary on there as well, and that it's going to be on after.
Wait, on Lifetime?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but somebody said that, yeah, there's a Dolly documentary as well, and it's going to be on afterwards tonight. So is it like a brand new documentary about Dolly, or is it like an old one?
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people.
There's been so many documentaries. Dolly's like Elvis. There's been so many documentaries on Elvis and Dolly. It's like crazy. But wasn't there a movie? Didn't they make a movie about the Judds?
Based
like
off
a
the
long
Love Can
time
Build
ago?
a Bridge
Okay,
book.
yeah, I thought so because I was like,
because they show clips of it. Yeah,
remember seeing this movie.
Well, I have the book. I remember reading the book, but it's been so long, and I was so young when I read it. Like I would have to go back. I'm thinking about getting an audiobook.
They should do another movie.
That's what everybody was saying. Everybody was saying, y'all need to make a movie just about this documentary. Like they need to. Yeah, and I will say, little Larry Strickland, y'all.
He just seems like the sweetest.
He's just a gem, and I'll tell you this: Winona and Ashley adore him. Adore him.
As they should.
Yeah.
Because neither one of them really had a father figure.
No.
You know, I mean, like Winona, you know, unfortunately didn't even know her father. She thought her and Ashley had the same father pretty much her entire life.
So she was 30.
And then she didn't find out, that she had another father and he was already dead.
And he had died like 2 weeks before she found out, y'all.
And so, and you know, and I think a lot of people forget how long Larry and Naomi were together. They were together, what is it, like 46 years?
I want to say he said 2 years after Elvis died. So 79.
Yeah. It was like a really long time. So he's been a staple and a father figure, you know, in their lives. Yeah, Ashley, all they've ever known.
Ashley said she loved him from the first date. On one of their first dates, he and Naomi came back to their house, and Ashley said, I was outside practicing my cheerleading routine. And she said that like I needed to like work on like that she was going to be like lifted onto one of the cheerleader's shoulders, and that Larry volunteered. And there's a picture, and he's like this super young Larry, and he's standing there, and then she's like standing on his shoulders, and she's like, I mean, this man that does not know me was like, I'll help you practice your cheerleading. And he like let her get up on his shoulders. It's so cute. But yeah, and they're all still really close. Like, well, I think Ashley and Winona have the typical sister relationship where it's kind of a love-hate, and like they love each other, but they lead kind of separate lives because Ashley's single and travels the world. Winona has children and even a grandchild now that she has to take care of. But it was real sweet. They did this one thing where they're all sitting on the couch. They're all just holding hands. It's like Larry and Ashley and her. And for those of you asking, because a lot of people were, Larry, I found out, moved to Florida. He bought a condo in Florida. He said that was he and Naomi's happy place, and that they used to spend their winters there, and that he loves the beach. So he bought a little condo. It doesn't say where, and for good reason. I'm sure he doesn't want to get bombarded. But he has a little condo now and lives on the beach in Florida, you know, to get away from probably all the memories of that house and stuff. And the house was really neat too. They were showing it a little bit. And which this is a great idea. I'm thinking about doing this for mine and Heather if we get another house. They were like Naomi, for all her different personalities, she had a room for that. So like there was a room that was like old timey, like 1800s. And like literally if you walked in, it looked like you were in the 1800s. Then there was another room that's like flashy Nashville and, you know, all this. So she was just a really interesting lady. But this really will open your eyes to their dynamic. Yeah. Just when you thought you knew the Judds, but you don't.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, they are a very complicated.
That's what everybody said.
Very complicated, very complex, very unique different dynamic
yes
family. You know, I mean, you know, even when you talk about, you know, you think about even like Elvis and his family and all the different like complexities and dynamics and everything. There's a lot there, but not like the Judds. You know, I've always found them very interesting. So I'm super excited to see this documentary. And yeah, because it's such a weird family. Because, you know, you got like Ashley and Winona, who are sisters, but really nothing alike at all. In their personalities, even in the way they look. Like,
well, I'll tell you this: when you see these old photos of Naomi,
Ashley
it's like looking at Ashley.
Yeah,
it is literally like looking at Ashley.
Yeah, but like they're so different in every single way, and then it's so crazy that they both found such success and stardom in complete different realms. You know, music for Winona and acting for Ashley. And yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah. But I do love the like also the dynamic with Larry and everything. Because I've always found that interesting as well. Because I don't know if any of you all keep up with Ashley and Larry on their like quests and social medias and stuff. But they are bipolar opposites when it comes to politics, the way they view the world and politics, and they think and everything. Couldn't be two more different thinking people. But yet they're able to love and get along and
respect the other.
And respect that and, you know, not make that a part of, you know, because I think that's such a crazy thing, especially nowadays, you know, with families and stuff. I think, you know, politics really divides so many people. It's like, you know, oh, well, I can't agree to disagree and I can't get past that. You know, if you think this way or vote this way, then don't talk to me, don't come around me, whatever. So I've always found that interesting.
I think they need to go on their own tour with that to kind of be like, here's how y'all do it.
That's what I'm saying. I've always thought that's so interesting about them because you couldn't get much more liberal than Ashley and you couldn't get much more conservative than Larry. So it's always so interesting to me that they do get along so well and have such a great relationship and stuff. And, you know, that's so amazing. Especially since they never had that father figure and now that they don't have their mom. So I'm happy to see that.
He's their dad, I swear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they call him daddy.
She calls him Pop.
Yeah.
Pop.
Yeah.
I think that's cute.
What a great relationship.
I know.
But anyway,
what's everybody saying?
Hello, Angelique. Thank you for the stars.
Now everybody's saying that, yes, Winona's fantastic. Yeah, now I have been to a Judds concert a time or two because I used to keep the country music concerts hot. And yeah, she's so good. She is so good. It is unbelievable.
Well, you know, there's always those crazy like rumors and stuff too. And now that this documentary is coming out, I've seen it all blowing up on social media again. Because, you know, there's always been that thing that a lot of people think that Winona is, you know, very Elvis-esque. Like a lot of people have called her the female Elvis through the years. A lot of people think she looks like Lisa Marie and like Elvis, that she sounds kind of like, you know, Elvis and everything. And I mean, yeah, that's all there, you know. And so it's funny to see on the social media, you know, everybody like talking about it and stuff.
Well, you know, she's always said Elvis was her number one influence, and then I didn't know this. Her number two influence was Bonnie Raitt, which I totally can see.
I can see that,
and I love Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just really interesting. So you guys, I highly recommend it. Even if you're not a Judds fan, I'm gonna tell you what, it's fascinating.
Yeah,
yeah, and it will really open your eyes to a lot of different things. Because I will say this, like, you know how you always have those people, you see them out, and like Naomi was always this kind for us, like. He would always just be like in passing, like, she seems crazy. Like, but you know, there's like, in a fun way. You're like, oh my gosh, she's just crazy. Like, you never know what she's going to do. You don't know what she's going to say, what she's going to come in wearing. But I did not realize the extent of her, like, serious mental illnesses.
You never know what somebody's battling behind closed doors and behind that smile.
Yeah, you know? Totally. So, yeah, y'all. Check it out. We're gonna talk it up next.
Well, you know, Winona came to the Nashville Elvis Festival a couple years ago because Larry was there. You know, Tom Brown usually tries to get Larry to come and be a part of the Nashville Elvis Festival. He was there again this year. He was judging. But yeah, Winona showed up because she knew Larry was going to be there a couple years ago, and she performed on stage with Dean Z. So I'm hoping that she's going to come back.
Praying that she will come back.
That she's going to come back again.
She said she loved it.
I guess
she didn't know.
And she loved Dean Z. Hello.
We
I mean,
know that. But, you know, I think she probably didn't know there's this whole ETA festival world, which a lot of people don't. You can be a huge Elvis fan, but not know anything about this kind of like offset world. And I think her eyes were open and she was like, I'm telling y'all, when she probably retires or has time, we'll probably see Winona at every Elvis festival there is.
Yeah. Well, I hope that, you know, a lot of times over the past few years, one of the like shows they've been doing during Elvis week is called like usually like a salute to Elvis or something like that. And there was the one year here a couple years ago, they had like Pam Tillis and John Schneider and
Dennis Quaid
and the Osmond guy, Jay Osmond. And they all came out and kind of, you know, talked about like the influence of Elvis on them and their music. And a lot of them had recorded either like songs about Elvis or songs of Elvis. And so I'm like, bring Winona to Elvis week. You know, get her to come to Elvis week and be a part of that show. Because, you know, she sang,
have her own
what's the
show.
song that she sang of Elvis?
Don't Be Cruel. Yeah, Had a Dream, Don't Be Cruel. I mean, they've literally recorded 4 or 5 Elvis songs. You just don't know it. Like, cause I think her demand was like, there's got to be an Elvis song on this.
But it would be so cool to have her come and sing those songs and her to talk about her love of Elvis and his influence on her and her music, and have Larry with her and, you know, have him do like backgrounds and stuff. That would just be like such a cool moment and everything. So hopefully that will happen sometime.
Well, she's real busy.
That's what I'm saying.
She's still touring it up.
She's still busy. She's still touring. She's still doing a lot of stuff. But, you know, I love that Larry is, you know, now involved in Elvis Week and he's being a part of it and everything. Because I think that's also something great for him, especially since losing Naomi. I think that gives him like something to look forward to and something to put a lot of passion and energy into, and you know, being surrounded by people that love him, because you know, that's the thing about Elvis fans, we are nothing if not loyal and loving. I mean, if you know you are connected to Elvis and you have a connection to him, then you are automatically connected to us.
You're automatically
we love
family.
Like we love you, and you know, we're always happy to see you and when you come to events and things. And so when he comes to Elvis Week, and he is just seems like just such a gentle giant, just such a sweet man, that he's got to feel that love from everybody at Elvis Week. So
so look at us tying it back. All right,
I can't wait to see Larry because he's coming to Elvis Week this year. I can't wait to see him this year and like tell him how much we enjoyed the documentary and stuff. And how much it touched us. Because I'm telling y'all what, it's one of my most emotional moments at Elvis Week last year is when they did the Rock and the Jukebox show, and Cheryl and Michelle came out and did their Judds tribute, and Larry was literally in the row behind Holly and I. And I'm telling you, when they started singing "Love Can Build a Bridge," because that stinking song makes me cry every time anyway.
It'll get
like, it makes me cry every time anyway. I don't know why. But yeah, when they were singing that and he was in the audience and everybody was crying, there wasn't a dry eye and he was crying, I was like,
I'm telling you what. I know we were all looking at each other like, are you crying? You're crying. I'm crying too. Like, you know, that is like their bridge over troubled waters. Like that was to Elvis. That's their bridge over troubled waters.
Or they're like,
that is totally theirs.
Or they're like My Way or American Trilogy or so good. So good.
Yes. So y'all check it out. We're not going to keep you much longer because I know everybody's got to get to those brunches or lunches or dinner or maybe all three, and have an awesome Mother's Day. And we got to get going too. So is there any final thoughts, Heather?
No, just go watch this documentary. I'm ecstatic to see it now. So maybe I'll get to watch it tonight or this week or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. But
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I know. I don't see how it couldn't be.
I'm telling you.
I don't see how it couldn't be. But yeah, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Hope you have a beautiful one and a blessed one.
Yes.
And we'll catch you next week.
All right. We will see you next Sunday. Bye.